What is going on, guys? Brandon, Toby, Cersei here, going over our last video essay of the semester. I will be going over chapter 12, question 2. How media literate are you? What about your friends? Do you suffer from media literacy third person effect? You're good, but those others need help. What are your weaknesses as a media literate person and your strengths? First thing I want to talk about is what the definition of media literacy is. It is defined as the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and communicate messages. And that's right, they are from the media. And so, the main purpose of the theory is to give people more control over interpretations of the social world, so they can kind of understand what they're seeing, and kind of break down why it's like that, or what's real, what's not. And I'm not talking about the fake news narrative either. We'll get to that in a few, though. But it's just kind of critically think about what you see and what's going on in the world and anything along the lines of that. So the first question is, how media literate are you, and what about your friends? I am very media literate. I've been lucky enough to have access to resources, classes, information, journals, books, whatever you want to call it. I've been lucky enough to have that over the last 10, 15 years, just from like my undergrad program to this program to just having a basic interest in it to begin with. So I consider myself very media literate, lucky enough, but I also understand not everyone has the luck to, or anything you want to call it, to have the same way. So, and then the next question is, what about your friends? I have some friends, like I said, in this class, and other friends who are educated enough they are media literate, but I also have friends that I'm not going to say they're uneducated, but when it comes to media or anything along those lines, they aren't very educated, so they can get lost in a lot of things of what they're seeing. Like I said, they believe it to be fake news. They can fall. Media is there for agenda setting, which we can talk about, which is their attempt to influence viewers, so they can fall in the lines of that, where they can see something that can be fake, and since it's been set up, and it just on top of that, you can fall into confirmation, or it confirms everything they believe. It just follows up where they're like, oh yeah, that's what it is, and it's actually not what they think it is. And so, like, I've had friends post things who aren't media literate at all, and they'll post things believing it's like President X believes milk's on the moon or something like that, and then they'll post it on a social media site and be like, see, I told you, this guy's an idiot, confirming what they thought, but it turns out to be it's from the Onion or the Babylon Bee, which is all satire. But since they're not educated enough in the for media in the media and seeing what it is, they don't know that it's not real. And so it is up to, like, I hate saying I have a responsibility for it, but I do have a responsibility of telling them, hey, you need to kind of look into what you're doing. If you have any doubts, let someone know, or like, so they can at least not look so foolish. Which follows into the next question: do you suffer from media literacy third person effect? You're good, but these others need help. For those who don't remember, third person effect is, I talked about it in a couple video essays ago, and is the idea that most of us are convinced that other people are much more likely to be influenced by the media. So even though I don't need to be protected from the media, others might be. And yes, I do suffer from this. I was just talking about how I believe if you know about this kind of stuff, it's kind of your responsibility to inform people of what they did, what's wrong with their mindset, their thought process, and help them learn how to fix it, so they don't go who knows how long in life believing something to be, or just being in the dark and not understanding anything. And so, if you do anything along the lines of that, it could be considered media literate intervention, which is essentially you step in and be like, hey, you're trying to reduce the harmful effects that media has, like saying you can do it with anyone, like any kids with violence, advertising, like saying young girls that see that can't figure it out with the not food, well, food too, but like clothing, how they're supposed to look, anything along those lines. So parents can step in and have an media literacy intervention, as you want to call it, to help them learn how they need to be critically thinking better, and assess the degree in which the media content reflects from the actual real world instead of what you're seeing. And so that follows up with me being okay, admitting to being a third person effect, for suffering from it. Next question is, what are your weaknesses as a media literate person and your strengths? I don't even think I have any weaknesses. Not to sound arrogant or cocky. The biggest, it's one. It sounds like, oh, I try too hard or I care too much, but some, like, I guess the biggest weakness is the overload I can have, because I will follow. If it's like on a website, I will go to CNN and then I will go to Fox News and just read what each one is and what they're offering, what their narratives are, what they're trying to get out there. It can become overload where I go down the rabbit hole too much. But I'm also very, very aware of everything from either watching television, watching the news, seeing magazines, newspapers, online, social media. I am very, very like hyper aware of everything, and I appreciate being able to think about everything or try to figure out why it's like this or anything along those lines, while other people kind of just take it as what it is or they just keep it moving. So I do appreciate that idea. So that'd probably be my biggest strength. And that was the last part. So, guys, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them below, and y'all have a great week. Thanks.